I'm just checking that everybody can hear me. I think we're going to start now rather than have everybody waiting for ages. And just to check whether you can hear Mrs. Pugh-Jones or not.
Hi, can you hear me?
Brilliant. Perfect. Great sign language. So we're going to share with you some important information today about the reception classes. It's really a fact-finding set of information for you. So obviously, to start with, we'd like to welcome you to Foxes and Owls class, and we hope that the following slides will give you all the information that you need to know about your child starting at school. It is quite fact-finding, so we hope it will be useful, and later on in the term when we have parents' evening, then we will be able to give you more information about the individual children and what they've been up to. As we've already said, everything shared on this PowerPoint will be available on the school website for your future reference. And if you have any questions that you would like to ask that apply to the whole class, then please use the chat function, which is the little sort of speech bubble shape at the top right-hand corner of your screen. And we will answer those at the end of this. But otherwise, any questions that are individual to your child should not be shared on this because everybody will be able to see it, and instead should be emailed to us, and we will get back to you on that. We're going to share our email addresses with you at the end of the presentation.
The following two slides are information about COVID symptoms and if your child is self-isolating. If your child develops these symptoms, no matter when they get them, even if it's at the weekend and then they go away, they still need to be kept off school until they have had a COVID test. To support us working with the Test and Trace team, please inform school by phone or by email to tell us of the date and time when the onset of the symptoms first started.
And we appreciate right now that this is much more difficult than we thought because of the delay in people being able to get tests. But for us, the guidance has not changed. So we still need you to get a test for a child that's exhibiting a cough. And we're really sorry about that, but that's just how it is at the moment.
Thanks for your support on this, everybody. If your child is self-isolating for any reason and they are able to access schoolwork, please let school know using either the Foxes email address if your child is in Foxes class, or the OWL email address if your child is in OWL's class. And work will be put on the Google Classroom from the day after that you report your child's absence.
Just to give you the heads up, the Google Classroom is something that all children can access, and it's where Mrs. Pugh-Jones and I share all our planning for the children that are self-isolating. So you would be able to log on to that and see the work that we're doing in the class and be able to get your children to do something similar. It may not be exactly the same as what we're doing in school, just by the very nature of us being teachers, and you probably not, but your children will be able to learn alongside us at that point.
And where we can, we've tried to put in links so that you can click on easily to some YouTube links that relate to the learning. So hopefully we've made it as easy as possible for you.
We're both IT geniuses, so it should be fine. Just to share with you a little bit about the areas of learning that we have in the early years. So you may or may not be aware that the early years curriculum is different to the national curriculum, and we have specific areas that don't tally necessarily with the national curriculum. So for us, for our children in early years, the prime areas of learning are their personal, social and emotional development, their communication and language skills, and their physical development. And for those, they are by their very name the prime areas, because we understand that children will not be able to develop further skills if they haven't got a secure bedding in these. We then have the specific areas of learning, which are probably a little bit more traditional to you, the literacy, maths, understanding the world, which covers things like science and geography, and expressive art and design, which again is the creative side of things. For us in reception, we place equal weighting on all of those areas, and we will deliver lessons or learning experiences that cover all of those aspects for the children, because we feel that's how they learn best.
And in doing all that, Play underpins the EYFS curriculum. It also underpins learning and all aspects of your child's development. Through play, children develop language skills, their emotions and creativity, social and intellectual skills.
And we know that some people, maybe other teachers, say to us that all we do in reception is play with Play-Doh and do colouring. But we will wait and you will see the magic of how quickly your children learn when they're in reception, because we are able to tailor the learning to our children's development.
Reading and phonics in reception. You will have already seen that your child has started to bring home reading books, and we are sure you're desperate to find out more. We normally hold a reading meeting to give you all the information that you need about this, but obviously we can't do that right now. However, don't panic. Mrs. Davis and myself are about to make a legendary video, which we will send out, and it will explain all about this. So I'm sure you cannot wait for that.
We know that you will have already seen, though, that yes, in reception, we do expect children to do homework. And especially this year, particularly when a lot of children have been at home for 6 months, homework is a bit of a shock to the system. But for us in reception, it is really, really simple. It is just read, read, read. It's the key to everything. So we ask your child will be sent home with a reading book from our scheme, or a choose book or a real book every night. And we ask that you practice with that every night. At the moment, all the children have got books with no words. And what they have done is listen to a story on CD that gives a lot more detail about the book. And we're hoping that they will go home and tell you that story. As we progress and the children learn their flashcards that they've already got, then they will start to get books with words. And this is a system that we find works really well for us. It's very well structured, but it works really well for our children. And they're excited because they're already able to read words. For us, routines for reading in reception, we both strongly believe that in reception, you cannot teach children to read without using a real book. It develops lots of skills that we don't really recognize as grown-ups. Things like turning the pages, identifying the front cover, looking at the back. They're all pre-reading skills that are really important to our children. Of course, though, we recognise that at the moment, sending books home needs careful consideration. So we've come up with a plan that we think works for us. We will send all of the books home for that week on a Monday, because that way will mean that we can quarantine them in school for 72 hours. Once your child is in school with their book in their blue folder, only they will touch their book, and it will be stored in their reading folder. We won't touch them. The children are already really good at this. They will take their books out when it's their turn to read. We won't share their books with any other children. It will just be them and their book. And for those of you that have had children in reception before, you will notice that the reading diaries look a little bit different, because in the past, Mrs. Pugh-Jones and I would have written comments every day for your children about their reading, and we just can't do that right now. So we're writing in their diaries on a Monday when the reading diaries have been quarantined. And following on from that, for the rest of the week, we will stamp the book so that you will know we've read with your child, but we won't write a comment. If there is an issue that we feel needs sharing with you, then we will obviously email you or catch you at the gate so we can discuss those with you. And likewise, you must do the same for us. Okay.
Learning Book, you will all receive an email inviting you to join Learning Book. Learning Book is an electronic learning journey, which is involves us using a secure handheld tablet to take photos, video clips, audio clips of your child while they're in school. And these are all linked to the appropriate areas of the EYFS curriculum. It would be great if you could share the wonderful things that your children do whilst they're at home, and share them with us. You can add pictures, videos, you can add comments to your child's learning book, either through your own laptop or if you download the app on your phone. And we love to see what they get up to at home as well. It really makes us
things like we've seen people have shared things like children learning to ride their bikes, or going swimming, or maybe just some of the lovely things that they do at home with you. And we can link it so that you will have that memory forever.
No outsiders. You've probably seen the no outsiders sign on the outside of the school building, and we do have them displayed around school in our classrooms as well. Each half term we read a book which we believe teaches the children about that we don't believe there are no outsiders, and this term our book is called You Be You, and it's basically about accepting others and being proud of our uniqueness. It's a really lovely story as well. We can't wait to share it with them.
And we know that, again, there's been quite a lot about no outsiders in the press, and we've had a lot of training on this in school, and we would just like to reassure you that the no outsiders term that we use in school is completely age appropriate to our children, and it's just about accepting everybody, and we think that's really important. Hopefully your children have already been talking to you about Class Dojo, and it says here on the slide that Class Dojo is an exciting online classroom management and behaviour logging system, which I don't know about you means nothing to us. What it is a screen that we have on in the classroom with little characters that belong to each of your children, and when individual children or maybe the whole class do something really good in school, they earn a dojo or a point, basically, and the children can see how many dojos they've got. We like to give dojos as a reward for really good things that our children are doing, things like their good work or helping others or being independent, being on task, joining in, persistence and not giving up, teamwork or working hard. And we've already got children with loads of dojos, and it's exciting and it's motivating for the children, and they love it. We quite often give whole class dojos for the children doing something really well. The Class Dojo gives you, the parents, the information that you need to be able to celebrate with your children and reflect on the day that they've had. Now, you will already have been given a Class Dojo letter, and on that letter is a parent code, a unique code that is linked to your child, and if you follow the instructions on the letter, then you will be able to set up your own parent account. You can log in through your parent account online, or you can download the app for your phone or tablet again. From your parent account, you can access lots of useful information about your child's day at school, including seeing the dojo points that they have earned, which is exciting. Also, the other thing that they love from that is on the parent app, you can change the characters that the children have, so they can make sure that it's a character that they really like. Just to draw your attention to the fact that we are not using the Class Dojo messaging service. So again, if you need to message either Mrs. Pugh-Jones or myself, please use the email addresses. I think you've already been given them in newsletters, but also they are going to be at the end of this PowerPoint.
All children in reception, year 1 and year 2 in England received free school meals. If you receive any of the bullet points below, for example, income support or working tax credits, please can you let the office know, as school gets additional funding called pupil premium funding, which we can use in part to help with school trips or after school clubs or instrumental tuition, as well as support your child with their learning. So if you just want to have a little look through there and let the school office know if you think that you would be eligible for pupil premium, that would be great. Thank you. Supporting Wincham family and friends, there isn't a better time to support them. So please like and share their Facebook page. Supporting the Wincham family and friends is not a very time-consuming commitment. Meetings are held termly, and there are always things that you can do that only take an hour or so at the event, or can take a little bit longer if you have the time. The meetings can be really good fun. There's lots of laughter, and it's a chance for you to get to know people form friendships, as well as giving something back to the school community. So if you're interested, I'm sure there'll be more information on the Facebook page and throughout school about when the next meeting
and
is.
I think they're trying really hard, aren't they, Mrs. Pugh-Jones, at the moment, because obviously, again, unless you're going to have a meeting with 6 people, it's going to be quite difficult to do some of that at the moment. But I think they're really planning on having Zoom meetings. So I think it would be a really fun thing for people to do.
So watch this space on that one.
I feel like all the information that I'm giving you tonight is all about IT. And if you only knew my IT skills, you would appreciate how ridiculous this is. But anyway, cracking on with homeschool communication. If you haven't done so already, please download the School Spider app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. The School Spider app is designed to make it easy for us to communicate directly with you. And obviously, again, in the current situation, that's really important. It allows you to read news and blog items directly onto your mobile phone. And it also means that you can see the school calendar. Text messages from the school office will be sent via the School Spider app. And again, that's going to be really key. Logging on to the app as a parent enables you to book parents' evening appointments without having to come into school. And we are hoping at the moment that we will be able to continue with parents' evenings, but again, it will probably be done virtually. But you will require a School Spider parent account to be able to do that, and you'll be able to get that from the office if you haven't done so already. At our school, we pride ourselves on having an open door policy, and we don't want that to change in the current situation. We are always happy to talk with parents and to work with you in the way best to support your child. You are the experts about your children. We appreciate that at the moment it isn't easy for you to come into school. So if you want to get in touch, then please email either of us on OWLS, if your children are in OWLS class, so they've got Mrs. Pugh-Jones as their teacher, or Foxes if they're in my class. Where teachers are working in school, they will check these email addresses so they can deal with any issues that you may wish to share with them. However, teachers won't necessarily have time to reply to emails before school. Teachers will reply to emails if necessary, but in most cases, we will address the issues directly and we may not get back to you. If feedback is necessary, then a member of the team will be in touch, or if you particularly want feedback, then please let us know in your email. The other thing is that we're really lucky in reception at the moment because we still see you first thing in the morning and up at the gate. So if there is something that you are worried about, please give us a shout then. And we can always arrange to do a virtual meeting like this if it's necessary.
Don't start on the wrong side.
Is it Matthew's mum?
Sorry, hi, finally got in.
No problem. It's just that we're just at the end, sorry.
Are you joking? We've got a mum's WhatsApp, so a lot of people might just suddenly start joining when we found out the code.
Well, don't worry, because all this has been recorded, so you'll be able to watch it on YouTube.
Okay, fine.
Okay. But what we've asked, it is actually the end. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's amazing.
All the other parents thought it was amazing. But we've asked everyone else to put their microphones on mute so that they could hear us. Sorry. Are you okay with?
How do I do? Let me see.
It should come up on the bottom if you hover are you on a laptop?
We've done it. Well done.
You can get a dojo.
You have literally joined us on the very last slide there.
Yeah, but well done.
We've had to record this and it will then be put onto YouTube, so you will be able to access all the information that you need. And I'm just looking at the moment, nobody has asked any questions that are general to the whole class, so hopefully you have got the information that you need. Again, thank you so much to you wonderful parents who did manage to join, and if you have got any questions or if there's any problem, Matthew's mummy not being able to get hold of this on YouTube, then please give us a shout. I think it will hopefully be on tomorrow morning. It probably won't be on later, but you haven't missed anything that is absolutely key for the next 24 hours, so you will be fine. Okay.
Oh, thank you for listening.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to
I
our
hope
brief.
it all made sense.
And as we've said before, watch out for our reading meeting video. It's coming soon. Thank you, everybody. Lovely
Bye,
to see you.
Bye.